Hello, Samantha Sargent here, doTERRA Wellness Advocate, and today we are going to do your 4-month check-in video review. So you've probably gotten an email from me that has this link on there, and usually I have a checklist that goes with your video, but today it's just some notes in there, so I don't actually have a printout for you, which is different from my other videos, but very handy. So all you have to do is watch this video, refer back to it whenever you want. So I'm going to do some screen shares so that you can see what I'm talking about, because you'll be looking in your membership as well. So just follow along and pause it when you need to, go back and forth. So I do a wellness consult with my customers. I also call it a membership overview. So it's really showing you how to use your membership after you've gotten your membership so that you can maximize your benefits. And for most of my customers at the 4-month mark, they're really ready to use their points. So if you refer back to my membership overview, I will have reminded you there that your points pop in after your 60-day start point. So when you have your enrollment order, 60 days after that, not 2 months, 60 days, so you have to count it out. So at day 61, your points should fully pop in. Let me show you how to see your points. When you hover, oops, I went into the wrong thing. When you hover your account there, sometimes it's a bottle of lavender. I have my picture in there. Click on account profile. And then that's going to take you to another screen where actually right here underneath my photo, you can see that I have 176.08 rewards points and I'm at 30% accrual. At the 4-month mark, you might see that this says 15. It might still say 10, but it depends on what time of the month that you're looking at your membership. And then 176.08, that's $176.08 worth of points. I do buy a lot of product. I'm at 30%, so I wipe mine out about every 3 or 4 months, and I usually have about 200 points. I can wipe it out. So I'm going to show you some of those perks. Again, we did talk about this before, but we're just going to talk about it again because repetition is really important. That's how things really stick. And again, if you don't remember, you can always reach out to me, text, email, or here in the comments on YouTube or Facebook. So I'll go back to a few things in just a minute. There's also something that you'll see when we get into the account. So I'm just going to kind of go with the flow here. I have a check sheet of me to talk about, but sometimes it's just easier to go with the flow. So you can redeem your points in a one-time order. I tell my people that there's never a reason to do a one-time order, even when it comes to redeeming your points. So I do have my loyalty rewards points order date set for later in the month. And remember, anytime you want your order, you can go in before the processing date and you can edit it, which is what I'm going to click here, and then you can process today. So anytime you're getting a one-time item, a BOGO, or redeeming your points, you do have to process today when you're using your AR balance. And I'll explain what some of those things are because you may not know what that is. And actually, you only have an AR balance if you've ever received a paycheck if you have a downline. So if you are a wellness customer and not a wellness advocate, then you wouldn't have any AR balance. But that is when you scroll all the way to the bottom, when you make your payment, use account credit. I have $9.80 in there. So if you have a downline of any kind, or if you are purposely a business builder, then anytime you earn a check that's less than $12, then those points automatically go into your AR balance, or they'll cut you a check, which has a fee, or if you're set up on direct deposit like most of our team, then you'll get it that way. So I'll just show you how to use them and then I'll go through some of my points again. So I do recommend to my customers that you want to save up between, I say usually closer to 100. So if you have 100 points, that's really when you want to wipe it out. We did talk about this when you first enrolled in your membership overview, but again, I'll mention it again. Every time you redeem points, there's a $3 fee. So if you're trying to redeem a $10 oil, you're paying $3 for that. My suggestion is you redeem $100 or more worth of oils, and again, you're just paying that $3 fee. So if it's a lemon, it's $11. So a lemon is 11 wholesale price. It's 11 points. It costs you $3 to get that $11 oil. Or obviously, if you had 111 points, then it would be 10 lemons for that same $3 fee. So that's why I suggest that. So I hope that you remember that from there. And if you need a refresher, that's on my YouTube page. So you can just go right back to that and get an entire refresher. So yeah, the best way, like I said, is in your loyalty rewards points order. So this was my last month's order. I haven't decided what I want for next month, but as a builder, my PV always has to read 100 so that I get my paychecks. So that is the case here. This video is for customers, so I mentioned some business stuff just to help some people, because I do have some customers that are sharers and they do have a downline they've shared with their mom or their sister or their cousin, and I've helped enroll and support them. And so from time to time they get a paycheck, and so they call me and ask me why, so this video can help them as well. And then they always want to know, well, how can I increase this? And I have ways for that as well. So you can see here that this box is available that says use points. So there are some items that are not available for you to use your points on, but it will be very self-explanatory there. So once I say, yep, I do want to use my points for that, and we definitely go through a lot of those, so that probably would be what I would do. And see, my points already dropped down, and it's right there. It's one time for free, and it goes there. So, and then my PV dropped down, so I don't get points for that because I didn't actually pay for it. So if any of this stuff doesn't make sense to you, just call me and we'll talk about it and go through there. So again, there's, well, if I wanted 4 oils, oh yeah, I forgot oh, they're letting us get 2 now. It's after a certain time and we're only allowed to get so many. So I'm gonna let me just put 6 in there. So you can see that I'm only available to get 4. So if I had enough points for 6, then it would have allowed me to get 6. So it popped the 2 that I'm paying for there, and it put the other 4 there. Now I'm not going to actually push this button, but at this point I would proceed to checkout. And again, when you're redeeming your points in a loyalty rewards points order, you do have to do it that way. And let me mention here again that, oh, I'll mention this first. So the account credit is like cash. So when you use your points, it isn't like cash. It takes away from your PV, but those points down here, I'm sorry, the credit down there acts like cash. So it does still count for my, it's just another form of payment, just like my credit card. So when you have ordered for 3 months in a row on a loyalty rewards points order, then you go from earning 10% to earning 15%. So that may show right here, depending on when you're checking this out. So again, it's probably going to tell me to cancel my order or, you know, not save my stuff. But again, right here, so if you're checking in on yourself at the 3, 4, 5 month mark, you might see it say 15%. So I'll just remind you of this. Like I had mentioned before, your 60 days after your enrollment, your points fully pop in. Well, after that, then your points pop in 15 days after the first of the month or so. So for instance, in January, when you place your order, the points that you earn in January will pop in just after February 15th. Then the same for your February order. Those points will pop in after March 15th. So if you're trying to redeem your points on March 3rd and you're like, hey, I should have had more points than this, it's because they have not popped in yet. So don't worry about that. So you can certainly wait until after March 15th to do your loyalty rewards points order. Just remember that you won't get the item of the month if your product value is over 125. So if you do it that way and then the next month you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many points in here already, that's because you already ordered in that month and those points popped in. So they accumulate very nicely, especially when you hit 30%. Remember that your points pop off month to month after 12 months. So most of the people that I know, they use their points up every 3 to 4 months. But if you're trying to save for a ton of big stuff, or you're trying to do all your Christmas items, your points don't expire for a whole 12 months. At that 12-month mark, they'll start falling off month by month. So like I said, for me, most of my people wipe out their points every 3 or 4 months. And then you don't have to worry about ever losing points when you do that. But if you're trying to save up closer to 12 months, you can always call doTERRA 411-8151 and ask them, when are these points going to fall off? And they'll let you know. You can even use the live chat. So the phone is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday is 9 to 2. And then the online chat is Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. And that's Mountain Standard Time, I believe. So that's always good information to have. Let's see. Yep, talked about that. I'm just double checking. Oh yes, I do. If you go back to the wellness consult, I recommend that you get with your points a new item or an expensive item. It certainly feels good to get a Helichrysum, especially if you've never used it before and you don't really know the power of that oil. So when you get it for free, it feels really good. And then next time, if you're running out of your bottle and you need another one, you know the value of that. And so you're happy to pay $75 for a 5 milliliter oil. That oil lasts me about a year. So it's great to have on hand. You never want to need it and not have it, because then you have to wait for your order to come in or try to find somebody else and then pay them back with it. If you're my person and you live in town and you need a drop, just come over. I'll give you a drop because I know how important those ones are to have at that point. Also, a lot of people have never tried our laundry detergent, our facial care, our soaps, any of our personal care products. So I definitely encourage you to use your points for those, because then if you use them and you like them, then now you know when you go to the grocery store, you can just buy groceries. Or if you don't like them and you're like, oh, I'm going to go back to my other product, at least you got it for free and you tried it. Either use the whole thing, or you can bless somebody else and say, here, I tried this product and it wasn't for me, but would you like to have it? And it feels good to pay it forward with something that you got for free. You don't have to tell them you got it for free, but you can if you want. And I'm happy to support you guys. So you can call or text, let me know any confusions that you might have. My goal is to answer all your questions before you ask them. And I think I do a pretty good job on that. But again, I'm always here for you. And yeah, I think I covered everything. And that should be pretty good. I'm going to stop my screen share and just double check my notes here again. Yep. So I will do a separate video about BOGOs. You can also edit your current LRP to process now a BOGO, and we'll do that in a separate video, because BOGOs can get a little complex, but they're super easy if you know what you're doing, or if you know you can call someone and they're there for you, which is me. So oilseducation@gmail.com, and you can find me on Facebook, Oils Journey, and we have a page, Essential Oils Educator and Event Coordinator, or contact the person that sent you this video and they can help you. If you don't have a current doTERRA Wellness Advocate, I'd be happy to service you. Thanks so much.